Hi, welcome to the channel. If you want to see how I got this really quick makeup look for the summertime, the ultimate makeup look for summer, I kept it to a bare minimum with all the products that I am using. This is how I would do a really quick, simple, natural makeup look. Yeah, let's get into it. I did do off camera some of my skincare, did some moisturizer, because that's going to be the biggest factor today, is making sure you have sunscreen on your face, especially if you're going to be outside. And that's why it is more geared towards minimal products today and making my skin look as glowy and bronzy as possible without having to put so much makeup on. I'm gonna put a headband on to get any of the hair that would be in my face. So right now it's just sunscreen on my face, and I'm taking almost like an extra layer of sunscreen. It's going to be the BB creams from Maybelline. This is the BB Cream Dream BB Cream Fresh. It is an 8-in-1 skin perfector. I've talked about this a lot, so I'm kind of gonna gloss over this. A lot of these makeup products I've already mentioned, but this is what I would do is after the sunscreen, put some BB cream on, because this has SPF 30 as well, but I wouldn't use this in replacement of sunscreen. I would just use it on top of the sunscreen I already have. So I'm going to use the light medium sheer tint, the 110, on the base of my face, and then I'm also going to add the 130 medium sheer tint. This is the medium deep sheer tint on the outer edges of my face, just to give it more of a glowy, bronzy appearance, almost like what I would do for a bronze slash contour. It's more of a warm tone foundation BB cream, but I like to mix the two. I got this one when I felt like I was a little darker and I needed to change up my shade, but it's too dark for me, so I kind of just use it on the outer edges of my face. I have off to the side a disposable makeup sponge I've already pre-wet, and I'm going to take the BB cream light shade and put it on the sponge. And I have a mirror off to the side that I'm looking into, so I'm not looking at the viewfinder the whole time in this video because that's never helpful. But I kind of just wanted to do a makeup look geared towards summer and just having something that is fairly light on the skin, because my skin is very sensitive and on top of that pretty dry. So I don't think today I'm going to add any loose setting powder or powder in general. I usually will use like a powder blush or powder bronzer or contour, and I just don't feel like it's needed for something, especially when you're gonna be outside and it's super hot out. I just find it almost suffocates my skin doing it like that, which does help putting powder on to set your foundation and make it last longer, but it's not my concern for this makeup look. It's just to make it look like it's a barely there makeup, no makeup look, but also letting the sunscreen be as effective as possible. I'm also not going to be using any highlight because I think that kind of adds to getting sunburnt fairly easily, especially for my skin. I'm not going to add a lot of eye makeup. I am going to add a little bit of mascara, but I would recommend waterproof mascara, especially if you're going to be in the water or you're just going to be sweating a lot. That's going to run down your face. I don't have waterproof mascara, but I would recommend using that over a regular mascara, but I'm just going to do a light coat since I find that's going to probably be the best I can do when you can't put a lot on your face, because again, that's going to run down, which is why the setting powder is effective. I don't want to add so much layers, so I'm only using 5 products today, making sure I did put sunscreen on my neck and chest, but I'm just making sure it goes down my neck and I'm blending it out as best as possible near my ears and into almost my hairline. I'll see like a dark contrast, and I didn't blend it all the way, or I didn't bring it all the way down my neck, and that will help seamlessly blend out once I put the other BB cream shade on my face and kind of bring it all together. And I'll go over this again after I do the other one. So I'm taking the 130 medium deep sheer tint, and I'm only taking a little bit because it's not necessary to have so much on my face, because it's the same formula, just a different shade. I think that's all I'm going to put on my face right now. So I have a few dots. I'm going to blend it out, and then any excess I have, I'm going to bring it around the jawline and bring it down my neck to kind of pull it all together. So I'm just doing it in like the high cheekbones. You could almost use this as like a replacement of eyeshadow, so you don't have to use so much makeup products, because right now I'm only using 5 products. This is the second product basically, or 4 if you want to count. Well, it would be 6 if you want to count the eyelash curler that I'll be using. You could almost just use an eyelash curler and no mascara too. The mascara is not necessary. It would make more sense if you had the waterproof one. I'm just gonna put it around my nose just to kind of give it a sun-kissed look. I just don't want it to be fully like light or white looking in the middle, just putting it on the outer corners. It might look discolored right now while I'm filming this, but in person and also photograph wise, it does photograph really well doing it like this. I guess the heavier handed you are with makeup, the better it looks on camera, but the lighter handed you are with your makeup, the better it looks in person. That's just how I find from personal experience when I'm trying to figure out what's best when I'm doing my makeup, and especially with what the reason the makeup's for. I would say obviously it's probably more important for it to look better in person than on camera, so take that with what you will with that information. So that's pretty much blended out. I definitely have discoloration, some breakouts I'm sure on my face that you're definitely gonna see, but today is not about concealing or covering anything up or really smoothing any imperfections out. It's just to make it look a little bit more put together without having to put so much makeup on. I didn't mention this, but I did put some chapstick on. This is the Aquaphor chapstick. Also, this is probably not recommended, but I did put this one on only because this one does have the SPF. This is the 30 SPF, so if it has SPF, I don't think it's as bad, but I have heard people have had reactions to having Aquaphor on your face. I definitely wouldn't have this on my face, quite a lot of this on my face, because there is no SPF, and I know that some people do have reactions to it. This one has the highest SPF in chapstick that I have personally. I think the other one I have is just the chapstick brand, and that one has 15 SPF. So I find this is a little bit better to have than nothing at all, because your lips, they do get sunburnt in the summer, so that's definitely something you want to cover when you are going outside and you want to put either makeup product on or just sunscreen on. Definitely don't neglect the lips. The face base is on. You could almost take a brush with no powder on it and just making sure you go over everything. I'm not going to. I don't have a clean brush right now to do that with, so I'm just gonna use the sponge, making sure everything is blended out as evenly as possible and going all the way down my neck. I'm gonna take my eyelash curler and I'm going to curl my eyelashes. Again, you could skip this part. You could also skip the mascara part. It's really up to you on how you want to customize your summer makeup routine without having to do so much makeup. That's just what I would do. Need the mirror a little closer to me to be doing this. That's one side. Now I'm gonna do the other side. I'm just gonna add a little bit of mascara. Again, I would use waterproof, but right now I'm just using the Clinique mascara that someone gifted to me. I didn't buy this myself personally. I'm just using some leftover products, about one coat on each eye. That is all I would do. You could do the bottom lashes depending on if that's your personal preference. I'm not going to. I find that's gonna run, so I'm skipping that step. I'm just gonna do the other eye really quickly, and I'm making sure I get really near the root of my eyelash, because if I don't, my eyelashes get weighed down fairly easily. I'm trying not to do too much product to them, and that's all I would do. It's not gonna look like a whole lot of makeup, especially on camera. So really quickly, the last thing I'm going to do is this mini Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. This is the Pillow Talk lipstick, and it is a really nice natural shade, very close to my lip color, and I usually would do lip liner, but I'm skipping that step. It's a little too matte for me. Trying to keep it in the natural realm, like I was saying. So just gonna add a little bit of this to my lips to try to keep it, the more neat and clean it looks, which obviously does look good. It just looks less natural, at least for me. I find not doing lip liner makes it a little bit more minimal to the makeup look. If there's any excess, you could blot that off as well. I'm trying not to overline either because it doesn't look great, especially if you're trying to do that with lipstick. You could add the loose setting powder, or you could add some setting spray. I don't have setting spray, but that could probably help instead of the powder. But here's a close-up of the finished product of my makeup. You can tell I have a lot of skin texture, I have a lot of imperfections. You can see a little bit of discoloration. I do have some active breakouts going on my face right now. I do like it. It just looks very natural, and that's kind of the look I was going for. For a very simple makeup look, especially if you're going to be outside dying of heat, I would just keep it to a bare minimum. This is like a handful of products that I will be listing down below. I have mentioned, I think, all of these. Definitely check that out. Thank you so much for watching this really quick, simple summer makeup look. I really do appreciate it, and I hope I see you in the next one. Bye.